talk about just from here, you can tell a lot of cases involve the landlord versus a tenant, or tenant problem versus landlord. And now, there's one student, and he just rushly would like to say, hey, what kind of, landlord tenants kind of protections law? Yeah, in California, we need to know AB 3088. It's called the California Eviction Protection. This act prohibits residential tenants from being evicted for failure to pay rent due to COVID-19 related hardship occurring between March 1st and August 31st. So long as the tenant provides landlord with a written declaration of a hardship. And under this kind of California eviction protections, residential tenants experience a new COVID-19 related hardship between September 1 and January 31st. And they are also protected from eviction. But during this kind of period of time, September 1 to January 31st, the tenants, you have to pay at least 25% of the rent during this kind of period, okay? And can you repeat your question again? And previously, I think his last name is Gao.
Oh, me? Oh, yeah. So,
what's your question?
Oh, my question is about the cases. So I'm just wondering, all these cases, they need to go through the trial, or they are going to the small court, or what they gonna is there any?
I just mentioned, okay, any kind of real estate like a purchase contract disputes, and if during the contract, if you put on in writing or marked, if there's any disputes happen, what we're going to do it, with how to solve this kind of disputes. And the California purchase contract, they prefer you first go through mediation and arbitration, then litigation. If you can resolve your disputes at the mediation, that's kind of time, and you don't need to go to litigation. And we're talking about the small claim court, and this is really related with AB 3088. So small claim, that is different because their money involved is less than certain amounts. You have to go to small claim. You do not need an attorney involved with that kind of claim. Just filing by yourself, go to small claim department. Any kind of court, they have a small claim division, and fill out your form, and then the judge will make a decision. But for the non-payment rent, for this kind of situation, under the eviction protection in California, there's something new, and also related with the small claim court. Okay, in small claim court, if there's anyone you know it, how much money you should go through what kind of amounts requirement for filing against the parties through the small claim court? If there's anyone who know it? Okay, then let me tell you. The small claim court, if you are individual and the amounts less than $7,500, you could file to the small claim. If you are a corporation or LLC, like a limited liability company, and if the amounts as dispute around 5,000, you also could file the small claim. But under AB 3088, this eviction, the Tenants Eviction Protection Act, and regardless of the amount owned, if the tenant owns the landlord maybe 20,000, the law allows you to file the small claim court. That means even this law protects tenant from being evicted from the landlord, right? but the landlord still have some kind of solutions. You can file against the unpaid rent through the small claim court. So here is just the information I told you guys. In California, an individual can collect up to $7,500 in small claim court, where corporations and the limited liability companies are still limited to $5,000. Small claim court is very simple, and the small claims cases are heard in a separate division of a county civil courts. And both sides, the plaintiff and defendant, presented their cases to a judge or court-appointed official. The judge in turn weighs the evidence and makes a decision. The whole process in court can be over in a matter of minutes, which means when you get into the small claim court, the judge just hear you guys' evidence and they can make a decision, can be just 5 minutes. It's a very simple, easy thing, right? In many states, including California, and the small claim court does not allow attorney to represent you, which means you can represent yourself. But some clients may ask, hey, I don't know how to prepare those kind of documents, those forms. If the people who doesn't speak much English, and they still could call attorney, the attorney may help you, and they say, hey, maybe I spend 1 hour, 2 hours, and help you to prepare the forms. But the clients, you have to file by yourself. This is, we just learned today, and once you have kind of real estate disputes, depends on what kind of contract you signed for, you can go through mediation, arbitration, litigation. And if the small claims, means it's a very, not much money, it's $7,500 as an individual, and you can go through the small claim court. And also I think you guys needed to learn in California civil litigation court, and we're mainly heard 2 types of cases. It's all based on the money, how much money involved. If anything above $25,000, we call unlimited civil litigation court. If anything in the above $7,500, less than $25,000, we call that kind of civil court as a limited, which means less than $25,000. If less than or equal 75, you can go through the small claim court.